Every time I think that one of these stupid fads that comes along every so often is dying down, they always come back, but like 10 times worse, right? Y'all remember the people that were like licking ice creams in stores for clout and whatnot? Thought that had gone away. And then once this whole pandemic situation starts, now we got people, coughing on groceries and licking deodorant, trying to get clout. There are numerous other examples with too many to count, right? But I thought this whole term, manspreading, I thought we were kind of, moving past that. But I got to show you guys this article I ran across not too long ago. It's by far one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this one. Let's take a look at it. So this title says, Manspreading has crossed over to the realm of running, and it's not okay. Taking up space in the world seems hardwired for men, but right now it reeks of selfishness. Already I can just tell that I'm going to lose brain cells by reading this article. So let's keep going, right? So it goes on to say, something has been niggling at... What? Niggling? Is that even a word? Hold on, I gotta look this up real quick. Niggling. Okay, it says causing slight but persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety. Oh. Yeah, kind of how I feel about these articles. Anyway. Says something has been niggling at me during my mandated daily exercise under lockdown. It's a realization that's crept up on me day by day. The same realization that the person who first coined the term manspreading must have experienced when it gradually hit them that men everywhere were taking up an inordinate amount of space on public transport. A global pandemic that's put the kibosh on using the tube and train for the majority of us should really have pressed pause on the phenomenon. After all, where is there to manspread now? Your kitchen table, your sofa. But then I started going running again, and I realized the practice has not stopped at all, merely migrated. For those of us not blessed with a rural setting, outdoor exercise can feel like a minefield during quarantine. I can't embark on a 30-minute circular jog from my front door without crossing paths with at least 50 people. All right, so listen, I don't know if you know this, but, let me just inform you, okay? You don't have to go outside and go for a jog, okay? There's this thing called free will, no one's making you go outside for a jog and cross paths with 50 other people. I mean, you can exercise inside. You don't have to go outside. Just so you know. She goes on to say, it taints the activity with an unwanted wash of anxiety. What if I get it? What if I already have it and am unknowingly passing it on? Again, no one's making you go outside. You don't have to put yourself at risk here. You don't have to go jogging outside. So we can already see this person's mindset, right? So it continues. Even before the outbreak, there was an unspoken code of conduct I instinctively followed when running, especially somewhere with limited space, like the canal path that forms part of my regular route. An innate considerateness took over, pausing to let people pass on bikes, saying thank you to those who have paused to let me pass, keeping to one side of the path. All these things came naturally. All right, I have no issue with that. Oh, that's very reasonable. It's, a considerate thing to do. It's the courteous thing to do, Person's on a bike, you let them go by. You go to one side, the other person goes to the other side. I don't see what the big issue is here. She goes on to say, since this lockdown started, this code has simply intensified. I attempt to make myself physically smaller, squeezing into the very edge of the trail, refraining from breathing as I pass people. That's right, I literally stopped breathing. Okay, again, I say to you, you don't have to be out here. Okay, no one's forcing you to go for a jog. outside. You know what I do when I don't want to come into contact with people? I stay inside. I work out inside. If you want to work out outside, if you feel so inclined to do that, that's fine. That's your choice. But don't sit here and make other people look like the bad guy and play the victim because you chose to go outside. Oh, I literally stopped breathing. Like, are you serious? I'm not saying this for a pat on the back or to raise awareness of what a great person I am. Although it would be nice to... Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. It's more just an observation about our natural behavior. I unconsciously adapted mine to fit a scenario in which social distancing was required but difficult to observe. I wouldn't have even been aware of it had it not been for the discrepancy between my own response and that of others. And when I say others, I mean men. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Yes, I know. Hashtag not all men, but hashtag a considerable number of men. And definitely hashtag not women. You're really putting hashtags in a news article. You've got to be kidding me. I can't comprehend how the people at the newspaper or whatever just look at this, they read this, and they're like, yeah, this is great. We're going to run with this story. Like, I don't understand. So she says, all the female joggers I pass seem to be doing the same unthinking contortions as me. We have more practice, I suppose, at making ourselves small and non-threatening and unnoticeable. We have form when it comes to bending over backwards to make everyone else in the room feel comfortable, often at the expense of our own comfort. But it is striking how many men do the opposite. They choose to plant themselves instead in the middle of the path, arms and legs pumping, striding flat out. They make no allowances, no exceptions, seemingly unaware that the person they're approaching is doing a frantic parody of a Viennese waltz, trying to adhere to the, under such circumstances, impossible 2-meter rule. It's of no concern of theirs. They've picked their lane and they're going to stick to it, thanks very much. Wide-legged stances and an unwavering trajectory, as if following invisible tram lines sends the clear message, this space is mine, I dominate, better give me some room, love. All others must leap out of the way, grateful for the small toehold they've been granted. Okay, let's unpack this, right? First of all, wide-legged stances and an unwavering trajectory. I don't know how the people where you're from run. When I've seen people run, they're typically not running bow-legged, with their knees out. So I don't understand. You also talked about just a couple paragraphs before about the innate considerateness that you have, right? Keeping to one side of the path, pausing to let people pass on bikes. There's no issue there. But all of a sudden, a man running, oh no, that's horrible, And lastly, right, she's making a whole big to-do out of the social distancing thing, the 2-meter rule. I'm assuming that's, like the six foot rule, right? Here's the thing. The average sidewalk is about like 5 feet, maybe anywhere between like 4 to 6 feet. And I just looked this up to make sure. So I hate to break it to you, but unless you and the other person are literally off the sidewalk and on opposite sides, there's no way you could adhere to the 6 foot or 2-meter rule anyways. So even if a person jogging by you wasn't quote unquote manspreading, as you say, and was walking on the edge of one side of the sidewalk and you were walking on the other, you still wouldn't be 6 feet apart. So your argument is invalid. Anyway, let's finish this article, right? So she says, normally this kind of behavior is amusing, bordering on preposterous, exasperating, sure, but more something to roll your eyes at and complain about over a coffee later. But now, it feels selfish, it feels scary, it feels borderline dangerous. as they pass, limbs moving like pistons, chugging forcefully out through the mouth like an unstoppable steam engine. Am I the only one that can't take this seriously while I'm reading it? Anyway, she says, I think about how I would feel if I lived with someone vulnerable or was vulnerable myself. I think about the courage it would take to get outside and the fear I would experience every time I stepped out of my front door. Fear that I could catch the virus and take it home. All right, once again, and this is the last time I'm going to say this, is like the fourth time I'm saying this, okay? You going out and exercising is a personal choice, all right? You make that decision. If you're an at-risk person and you go outside and you cross paths with like 50 people, like she said at the beginning of the article, maybe you just shouldn't be going outside for a jog. That's what common sense would say. But, clearly some of the people that write these stories have none of that. Anyway, man, I can't bear to read any more of this article. Y'all get the point, Is that I don't want to continue to lose brain cells by trying to finish this thing, but clearly the term manspreading has not gone away, and I can only wonder what's next. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.